The driving physics in Car Parking Multiplayer 2 were always a problem to most players from the beginning of its launch until now. Players would have to make a lot of adjustments to their cars just to have a decent driving experience. But now that we have a new update to test out, we will see if the claims of improved physics are really true. I will be driving a variety of different cars and testing them on the track and uneven surfaces. Drifting will also be one I will be taking a look into as well, to see if the changes made are going in the right direction, or if it is all just for show. I will be using both my wheel and my phone for these tests. The wheel gives me more precise control, and the phone is there for most of the drifting, since it is of course the most used device. As usual, before we get started, I want to quickly give a shout out to these awesome subscribers and viewers. Thank you guys for supporting the channel and the content. I really appreciate it. And if you want to appear in a future video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and comment shout out down below. I will try to pick you out in the next one. Now let's get ready to conduct the necessary tests to get the feel and see if Car Parking Multiplayer 2 is really getting better as a simulator overall. One of the more simpler things that I wanted to look at is if they had fixed that issue with cars sliding from the slightest raised surfaces on the road, even when you have it in parked and the handbrake is up. Unfortunately, as you guys can see, this is still a problem. The wheels are not even rotating while the car slides back. It is stuck in place, and naturally, it does not look natural. I hope they fix the surface grip soon in future updates, because I believe it also plays a key role in the overall results of how the car physics work. Slippery surface means more slippery cars. And so for the next test, we will be taking a couple of cars to the track. The suspension settings will be reset to the default. This is to ensure that only the stock setup is used. We already know we can achieve better driving with personal tuning, but this is just a test of the stock results. I also will not be using arcade mode. I will be turning on traction control, ABS, and ESP instead, and keeping the arcade mode turned off. And just to remind you guys that the game is aiming for realism, so just because the car spins out at high speed and sharp turns does not mean the physics is bad, as this often happen in real life as well, at even slower speeds, depending on the car, the power it has, and a lot of other conditions that we don't need to go in details with. What we want to pay attention to is in what conditions do these accidents take place, and I will point out when it is done by driver mistake. As for the smaller details, such as the tire pressure, I will set these to default as well, just to let the game decide on what it finds to be optimal for this car specifically. Everything is basically stock, only huge change is the body kit and design. Now let's take a look and talk about the drifting in car parking multiplayer 2. Unfortunately, not much has changed for the drifting aspect of the game. No drifting tires, and cars still can feel snappy at times. Still some way to go with how the tires interact with the roads and surfaces. But all of that aside, players still drift in different ways depending on preference. Some will use a very low tire pressure with their own suspension and tuning. Others will be using off-road tire for either all wheels or one set of wheels. I have recently been using the method of burning the rear tires to 0% and then using semi-slick tires with a different level of the tire pressure. Let me know if I should share these setup guides with you guys in future videos and which cars you would like to see setups be done for. Here is how the drifting looks with the setup I have for my Chaser.